And now let us prepare for meditation.
I forgive you. I forgive me. I forgive all and live my life in peace. I forgive you. I forgive me. I forgive all and live my life in peace. I forgive you. I forgive me. I forgive all and live my life in peace.
Let's go to our heart center and being present in this moment, allowing ourselves to relax into this space, becoming comfortable wherever you are, however you are, and knowing the truth of who we are. We're individualized expressions of the divine. We find the energy and love to be present in this moment, to have an open heart, an open mind, and an open spirit. Allow ourselves to be free, let go of that which is keeping us locked into our own self-awareness. Letting go of people, places, and things that distract us from the truth of who we are. We find within us that energy of love that opens up to the universe. We say, thank you, God. We say, thank you for this time and this awareness, and that we take this moment and we bring into mind those people that we've had a hard time allowing them to be in our lives. We bring in the energy of love, knowing that each person is an opportunity for us to learn love, to learn how to be present to the consciousness of love that's in the universe. Jesus said, love your enemies. Love those who we feel that are against us or causes us pain. We find peace by going inside to the deepest part of our souls and connecting to those. We send love out. We ask in our hearts to be free, to let go. To be open to that which is the core of our being, the Christ consciousness, the Allah consciousness, the Buddha consciousness, the Jesus consciousness, any other name that you call on to help you through this process. Great Spirit, universe, principle, power. Just breathing into this moment and saying deep within your soul, I am willing to let go. Or even, I am willing to be willing to let go. I am willing to be willing to heal. willing to be present to me and all that I am, all that I want to be, and all that I can be. Allowing love to build up from your heart. Think of the most loving thing that you can think of. A person, a place, somewhere that love was really present in your consciousness, in your life. The birth of a child, to be hugged by a grandparent, to have someone look up in your face and say, I love you, and know they meant it. Allow that love to build up in you right now in this moment. Send that love out. Enfolding all of the people, including yourself, being willing to be willing. So allow yourself to heal, to release the pain, the hurt, the disappointment, anything that keeps you from being truly present. Just take a moment and just allow that love to flow through you out into the room, out into the city that you live in, out into the state that you live in, out into the United States, all the continents of the world, circling this planet with healing love, allowing that love to move out into the universe, coming and going, circling, creating a center of love and peace in the universe. And so it is. Amen.
When the anger has died and the shame disappears, with the echoes of lies spoken over the years and accepted no more, we let go of the fear. There's nothing left but forgiveness. After heartache and sorrow and love that has died, the most bitter feelings were kept deep inside, fade to nothing as lessons of life realized. There's nothing left but forgiveness. And when the reasons have vanished and their power is gone, and the places they took us have led us back home, and the hatred forgotten has left us alone, there's nothing left but forgiveness. Only so far we'll go till the sorrow will cease, and the anger and heartache turns into peace, and we stand in the silence and feel the release. There's nothing left but forgiveness, forgiveness. We need forgiveness, forgiveness. We need forgiveness.
David Trolley, the music ministry of David Trolley. Thank you, David. What a perfect song for Linda's talk today. Absolutely. And what a joy it is for me to be able to spend a few minutes with you this morning, unexpectedly as it is, and to just say welcome again to those of you who are joining us for the first time. I see a couple of you on there, and it's so nice to have you. Hi, Lizzie. Lizzie's joining us from Oregon, and I've known Lizzie for a number of years. And Christina, I'm not sure where you're from, but welcome, and good to have you here virtually with us. And it's good to see Cam from Massachusetts here. Good to have you here again, Cam. And this morning, now that you're here, Linda, and everybody's settled down, oh my God, I said, I think she was speaking in St. Petersburg, Florida this morning, weren't you? Weren't you in St. Petersburg speaking? And then she just came back from the Parliament of World Religions, I believe. I saw her picture pasted all over Facebook with everybody. You'd have thought that the Queen of Sheba was at the Parliament of World Religions. She was with everybody. But Linda, thank you for that meditation. That was just lovely, and it was truth. And I needed to hear it this morning. So thank you. It's a joy to have Linda back with us, and we look forward to having her again. I think she's coming back in October and November, and then we'll hopefully have her back next year. She's well known in the Unity movement. She preaches all over Florida. She's just a force to be reckoned with, and it's my joy to welcome her. Good morning, Linda. Welcome to Unity of Davis again.
Morning. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Wow, it's great to be here. Yes, I kind of mixed the time up. I was thinking 11 o'clock and something spirit. I'm gonna tell you, it was spirit. I was sitting there and it said, look at your email. And I looked at my email and I turned on right away to let you know I was here. So blessings. Yeah, sometimes, God have to remind me who I am, where I am. And yes, I've had a awesome week at the Parliament of World Religions. I got to meet people that I never thought I would be in the same room with, and to experience peace through a group of people, over 700 people from all over the world, all religions, and to be in that space of, let's do this together. Let's work together as a community to work to bring peace and joy and love into the world. So awesome experience. And my topic is this morning is breaking the cycle of pain. It's interesting because this week, I have to admit, okay, so the week before Parliament, I decided I was going to do some personal training. And if you've ever worked with a personal trainer, they don't hear anything. So I told her I did not want to be sore going into that event. Well, guess what? I wasn't cognizant when she was doing the exercise. I was just doing them. And so, okay, I'm leaving Sunday. I went to the personal trainer on Friday. So Saturday, my legs, I thought I was going to die. By Sunday, I'm leaving and I can hardly stand and sit. So by the time I got there Sunday afternoon, I was like, God, I cannot go through the week in this kind of pain. So working through that, help me work through this pain, help me work through this. My family tells me all the time that I have no compassion for people in pain. And I do, but, I use the tools of Myrtle Fillmore, Nana Johnson, and the other founders of the New Thought movement. Was all about healing. It was all about come to a place where you can be present to who you are and let go of those things that you need to release. So I'm going to talk about a young man who was promised that he would be the fruit of the planet, of all of the people on the planet. And he had to go through a little bit of stuff to get to where he could do what he had been called to do. First of all, he convinced his brother that he should have the birthright. So he gave his brother, sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. Then he dressed up like his brother and received the blessing of the promise that came down from Abraham. And then he left home because he was afraid his brother was going to hurt him. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Jacob. So then he left home and went to live with his uncle. And his uncle kind of tricked him, but he, in the end, was also a trickster. We call him, he did a lot of misdeeds, but yet and still, he was given this promise. And we go through these things in our lives, not realizing that when we go through things and we do things, things happen. And so Jacob was going through this situation. He had been given the promise. Matter of fact, the heaven was opened up, and these angels came and told him that he was the seed of promise. But yet and still, he did these misdeeds. And one of the things that we tend to do is when we do something wrong, we want to beat ourselves up. You know, every time I did something, I felt that I had done something wrong and I wasn't worthy of having what I was supposed to have. I would go through these situations and I grew up in traditional, and I knew I wasn't going to go to heaven because I was such a bad person. And I would continue down that path because I didn't know there was a way out other than, you know, for me, it was like, okay, did that one, did that one too. There was no redeeming hope for me because I'm just that bad. And so Jacob's last episode was that he had made a decision that he was going to go back home. And so for us, that's a journey back to who we truly are, that we get to go back. And on his way back, he then did another misdeed. He tricked his uncle into giving him the best sheep so that he could have the most money so that he could go back home. You know, on his way home, he had these different situations where he knew his brother was mad with him. So first he had to work through what? Some forgiveness external, he thought. We think that forgiveness erases everything, but forgiveness doesn't erase it. It gives us an opportunity to be present with it. Forgiveness is not, forgive and forget. Forgiveness is about healing our own souls. It's not, we don't forgive for someone else. I don't forgive you so that you're free. Y'all know the statement, forgiveness, unforgiveness is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. Well, when we get into the unforgiveness state, it literally affects our bodies. So that energy and that anger and that hurt that we're creating goes into the body. It goes into the consciousness of who we are. And every time we think about it, we add more negative energy to our bodies. That's why I was interested in Myrtle Fillmore when she did her healing practice. She forgave her body. She gave herself forgiveness for feeling and doing the things that she had done to her body because somebody had told her that she was weak and incapable of having a healthy whole body. And so when we are in this process that we go through, we get to where Jacob was the night that he wrestled with the angel. We're wrestling with our own self-consciousness, own awareness. And he couldn't get free until what? He finally got deep within himself and he forgave himself and he forgave the people that he thought had did him wrong too. So when we're wrestling in that space where, he was holding on to the angel and he says, I won't let go until you bless me. I won't let go until you bless me. And that is the awareness and the consciousness when we get to the place where we know that we have to let go. And once we can let go, the blessing starts to come. So as he moved out of that, he had a hip that was kind of out of joint, so that he would always remember his fight with God or the angels. You know, it was his awareness of who he had been and how he was moving through this and the things he needed to do to forgive. And so there was another brother after this brother that, you know, he was sold into slavery. And another situation where he had to come to a place where he had to forgive. And so we get to these places because we get into so much pain. I don't know about you guys, but I was in so much pain in my life that I couldn't move forward. I was in so much pain. I woke up at 24, 26 years old and life wasn't working for me. I had so much internal hate and unforgiveness inside of me that I didn't know how to live. It took me 2 more years in that pain to really get to a place where I could let go. I was 29 years old, and I made the decision I was going to turn my life and my will over to the care of God, but I didn't know how to get through that process. So a friend of mine suggested that I do therapy. So I went to therapy, and there were so many things that happened in my life that I had not accounted for. I just knew that I didn't even know I was angry at the universe. I don't know about you guys. Did you know you were angry? I did not even know that I was angry until a therapist said to me, "Lon, you're the most angry woman in the universe." She said, "Second most angry." I said, "Second?" She said, "Yes. The reason I recognize your anger because it's my own anger. It's what I had to walk through to get to the place where I could find peace in my life." And that was having to forgive some people in my life that had done some things to me. You know, I'm a incest survivor, and I had blocked all of that out. But at 30 years old, blocking it out hadn't healed it. It had just built more and more stuff into my system, more anger, more. I mean, I was at a point where I used to laugh. I said, you know, I used to have spots on my arm. People thought I was a drug dealer, but I wasn't a drug user. But it was because I kept having physical issues that I would go to the doctor, and they really was like, "We don't know what's wrong with you, Linda," you know. But it was that toxic energy that I was constantly bringing in my body, the anger and the hurt and the pain that I hadn't dealt with. And so I chose to make a place in my life for forgiveness. I chose to. It was like my sponsor used to say, "Be willing to be willing." I had to come to a place where I was in so much pain that I became willing to be willing. That I had to face each one of those situations that had occurred in my life and learn to forgive. Not saying that they hadn't done something wrong, but that there had been some stuff that had occurred in my life that was causing me pain. And so I got to a point where I could say, "I forgive you." I didn't mean it at first, but I said it. "I forgive you." And I realized, and I think we all realize it, only hurting people hurt people. Healthy spiritual people don't hurt people. It's only hurting people that hurt people. And when we're in that space where we're being hurt by someone, it's because they're in pain. And so as I was healing my pain, I started to realize that the people in my life were hurting too. So I started to pray for myself, forgiving myself. You know, somebody said, "Well, what can a 2-year-old do for forgiveness?" It's not the 2-year-old that need to forgive. It's the 40-year-old who wakes up and realizes that things had happened, and I forgive the persons, and then I go back and I help that young person, or the young person in me, realize that they couldn't do anything any different, that it's okay that they're hurting. But you love them and you bring them up into this adulthood that we're in, and we allow them the energy of the pain that they felt and that they went through. So we go back into that space and we allow ourselves the healing energy of the adult. And then we can take the child and we can love them and promise them or talk to them and allow that we're going to take care of them, that young inner child, that person in us. Every age is still within us, and we get to heal each age as we become aware of it. So when we want to, if we're in pain, and I'm working through this now because I've been teaching it for the last month, that pain is unforgiveness. And I tell people, don't stop taking medicine, don't stop going to the doctor. You need that. But look at the physical aspect of forgiveness. And as we work through the forgiveness, the body heals because that negative energy moves from our bodies. And we start to break the cycle of pain through the next generation. Whenever we heal anything in our lives, we make it clear and clean for the next generations. So as we are breaking through the cycle of our own forgiveness, we get to heal our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. When we're holding that pain and that suffering inside of us, guess what? It stays in our DNA and it's transmuted into our next generations. I was so happy. I'm an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic. My dad was a recovering alcoholic. But guess what? I broke that cycle. I became a recovering person. I did the work. I did the forgiveness work. So my daughter has an opportunity to be free of that. I tell her all the time, you have a choice of how you want to move forward in your life through the healing process. So the first process is forgive ourselves. Okay? So move through it to the spot of where, first of all, I forgive myself. And how do I do that? I'm a child of God. I don't have to become good enough. I'm already good enough. I'm already good. The Bible said God created us good and very good. So we're good enough. We don't have to become good enough. All we do is we do the forgiveness work to allow ourselves to let go of all that energy that we created from things that happened to us. We're good. And once we can say, I forgive, and God doesn't have to forgive us, it's our internal forgiveness. God doesn't hold any records against us. That's what Jesus said. He says, I took care of your, call them misalignment with truth. So this power this month is will. It's the free will. We now have free will to make a choice of how we want to move forward in our lives. We get to. I love my friend that she says, we get an opportunity to do it. We get to do it. And so we go inside and we do the forgiveness work. I forgive you. I forgive you, Linda, for all the things that I thought about you, all the things I felt about you, all of the negative energy that I created within myself. And then I move on to my brother. I forgive you. I know you were hurting and that there was no one there for you. And then anybody else that comes into my consciousness. Charles Fillmore said, every day take 10 minutes and do forgiveness work. We say in recovery, when you have an issue with someone, pray for them. That's what Jesus said, pray for them. And guess what? The more you pray for them, the more healing comes in you. So you pray for those people. I have it's new, it's not new. I didn't make it up, but it says everything that happens in my life is for a lesson, a healing, and a blessing. They used to say are. It's not. Because when you heal, what happens? You get the lesson. Once you learn the lesson, you heal. Once you learn the lesson and you heal, guess what? Your life changes and you become a blessing. And so we work on becoming that which God created us to be, whole, perfect, and completed. We're not trying to, in unity, we said we're not trying to become good. We're already good. We're remembering our goodness. So forgive those people in your life. And when you forgive, you break the cycle of pain. And I tell people, keep taking medication, keep doing what you're doing. But as you forgive and as you bring that healing and that wholeness into you, your life heals. You find more joy. You find more peace. You find more willingness to be present for other people. You're no longer all about Linda. I'm not all about me. It's not all about what's going on in my world. It becomes about what's in the world and how I can be present to that. And when I pray and ask God to allow me to be a blessing to the planet, guess what? I get to be a blessing to the planet. Forgiveness is not a one-time thing. It's a process. I still have people that come up in my life and I realize that I've forgiven them. When they show up, I say, yes, I've already forgiven you, but I'm willing to forgive again because apparently there's some deeper work that needs to be done. I just keep doing the work, keep doing the work, keep living into that consciousness and that awareness. I'm whole, perfect, and completed. I'm working to be in alignment with that truth. Every day I pray and I meditate. God, guide me into being more in alignment with your truth, what you want me to be, and then being able to do that. So we get to the point where we can say, God, what is your will for my life? I stopped asking to have my will manifest. I started to ask God, what is your will for my life? And I have to be willing that when God showed these things to me, I'm willing to walk through them to it and be it. I allow forgiveness to be part of my consciousness. It's not a thing I thought out and set over in the corner. It's a constant daily process of forgiving and living into that which we truly are. And so when we go back to Job and we look at his life, we can say, well, he shouldn't have been that bad. He knew what the promises were. We have the same thing. We know who we are, but sometimes we get out of alignment with that truth and we have to work back into it. We always are working towards that truth, to that awareness of who we are. We forgive ourselves. We forgive those people who have done things to us. And I had to forgive God. And then we're gonna end it. I had to forgive God. Why did I have to forgive God? Because God wasn't doing what I demanded God do for me. I demanded that God be a certain way because that was how I believed it should be. So I worked on asking God, be forgiven of God and my concept of God. And so my concept of God changed to a loving, caring God who wants the best for me. And so we continue to move in the direction of healing, in the direction of our truth. We have free will. That free will gives us an opportunity to walk through life and to see the truth and be willing to live into that. So just awareness, I said, I'm not talking at you. I'm talking about my life and how I've had to work through this process of forgiveness. I've had to allow that healing to become a part of my consciousness. And my story is today, I'm joyous, happy, and free. Today, when pain comes up, I know that it's more forgiveness work I need to do. When those situations that come to my face and something happens, I say, God, forgive me. Help me to be in alignment with your will for me. Show me, guide me into how I can be a better person, how I can live more in alignment with your truth. So today we don't have to, we get to choose. We have that power of will. We have the power of understanding. We have the power of wisdom. We have the power of love. And they're in us. They're not something out there. They're in us. We call on them from the internal consciousness of our own beingness. God is everywhere present. We're individualized expressions of the divine. And we create our world by how we think, how we feel, and how we believe. It's not that we're creating the world out there. We don't change the situations. What do? We change how we see the situation. And when we change how we see the situation, what? We become healthier, happier beings. And we pray and we meditate. We go inside and we ask God to show us, guide us. And then we do the work we need to do in order to get to the place where we can be joyous, happy, and free. Thank you.